Hi everyone, it's Debbie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm a reseller. I've been reselling for 20 years and I absolutely love it. And today I have a what sold video for you. I'm going to share some items that sold on eBay and Poshmark in the month of October 2024. I sold a total of 84 items for a gross amount of $2,168.11. I can't believe we're already in the middle of Q4. I hope that Q4 is going well for all of you. For me, my sales are staying pretty consistent. Even though I have been out of town a lot, I'm going back out of town in a couple days, but the way that I'm trying to continue having sales, even when I'm not always home and very active, is I'm trying to schedule listings on eBay so that I have a couple things going out all the time. I'm sure to answer questions even if I'm out of town. If I do have questions come in, answer them right away, and that way they normally turn into sales. Sending out offers on eBay is very helpful. I've noticed now that a lot of my sales come from sending out offers on eBay and some from people sending offers to me, but the majority of them are me sending out offers to watchers. Then on Poshmark, I talk about Primelister all the time. Primelister helps me stay very engaged on Poshmark. I know that sharing my items consistently and sending out offers to likers quickly makes all the difference in the world. I have a video that's a complete tutorial if you're interested in Primelister and want to see how you go through and set everything up. So when I was creating that video, I noticed that my daughter Morgan's closet had completely died. She had not had any sales. I think it was like 13 or 14 days. So I signed her up for Primelister, and all of a sudden she was having daily sales almost. It really turned things around. Went and looked at Morgan's sales. In September, she had only 8 sales. I signed her up for Primelister at the very end of September. 4 of those sales came right after I signed her up for Primelister. Then in October, she had 24 sales. So she quadrupled her sales from September. I could see it really made a difference for her, and her listing activity did not increase. It actually decreased. She has not been listing as much at all. She's had other things going on. And these are listings that she's had for 6 months, for a year, that were just sitting there with no activity that are selling now. This hoodie had been sitting in Morgan's closet for 7 months and 5 days. It sold for $25 just a couple days after signing Morgan up for Primelister. These boots had also been sitting for 6 months and 27 days. They finally sold for $75. This bundle had been sitting for almost a year, and it finally sold also. So it was amazing to watch the activity and consistent, almost daily sales come in right after I signed her up. So this really showed me that Primelister made a huge difference for her. I know for me, I've been using Primelister for years, and I know it made a difference for me in saving time. I got so sick of sharing and sending out offers to likers. It was consuming so much time. So I signed up and have not looked back, and I know it's been great for me for a time savings. But in Morgan's closet, just seeing the difference in activity and older items selling that were just stagnant before was amazing. So if you haven't tried Primelister, I would encourage you to try it. They offer a free 14-day trial. You don't have to put a credit card in or anything. And then if you decide to continue, it's less than $1 a day for their automation. I'll put a link in the description box down below. And if you use my link, you'll get 30% off your first month if you decide to continue on after the free trial. And I bet you will, because it is wonderful. I love it. And now I love it so much for my daughter, Morgan, also. So I decided what I'm going to do in today's What Sold video is I'm going to take my top 10 highest profiting items from the month of October and really look at what items are selling for the most profit. Where did those items come from? Where did I source them at? And what type of items they are, because I want to spend my time the most effectively. So I really want to examine what my highest profiting items are. Then I also, when I prepared this video, I had like 40 items because I also want to share items from hauls that I've had. So I'm going to have a couple more videos where I give updates from my Goodwill bins hauls that I had recently. So I'll share items that sold from those hauls and let you know how much profit I'm at on those hauls in future videos. So let's get started. My highest profiting item for the month of October, I sold on eBay, and it was a vintage Jessica McClintock dress. It wasn't a Gunny Sacks by Jessica McClintock. It was just Jessica McClintock. And I had another one a couple months ago that sold for a really high amount. So I am going to continue looking for and picking up Jessica McClintock dresses. This one was new with tags. So I put new with tags. I also put NOS for new old stock, vintage Jessica McClintock dress, size 16, black, white. I put Dillard's because it still had the Dillard's department store tag on it, and it even had the tag on it that showed that it was $140, probably back in like the 80s or 90s. I also put prom informal. It sold for a gross amount of $83.18. My earnings were $58.29. I paid $8.99 at my local Goodwill. It took 7 months and 21 days to sell. It sold once, it was returned, I relisted it, and it sold again. So 7 months and 21 days, but probably 21 days it was in limbo. And my profit was $49.30, so almost a $50 profit. I'm finding that vintage dresses are doing so well for me right now. Next one is an item that is a liquidation item, and I've had multiple quantities. I've sold so many of these. It came in at my second highest profiting item. It is the new in box $188 Free People James Chelsea boot. So I got a lot of these back on December 9th, 2022, and sold through all of them. Notice that I made a great profit on them, and one listing I just had to update quantities, so when I would see that they were available again, I'd buy them again and restock, and all I had to do was get them in and change the quantity and then ship them out when they sold. So these have been so great. This one sold for $98. This was when Poshmark had the new fee structure that they no longer have. My earnings were $88.26, which was great. I paid $40.18. Purchased them from Fox Liquidation. That's the only liquidation place that I've ever purchased from. I'll put up my discount code if you're interested in buying from them. I highly recommend them. My profit was $48.08. So I love these boots, and I love just being able to constantly replenish them. My third highest profiting item was sold on Poshmark. This was Eliza J 3D floral cocktail dress, plus size 18W, black sheath, sheer balloon sleeves. This dress was so pretty, so I had to put a video in it to show the sleeves were sheer with these flowers all over that were 3D, and so I just thought it was beautiful. It had so many things going for it. I've had great luck with the brand Eliza J. Having 3D, being able to put 3D on there was great. Cocktail dress, great time of year, so many holiday parties. Being plus size was another huge positive. And being the color black dresses seemed to sell very well. So it had so many things going for it. And it was just such a pretty dress. It sold for $40. My earnings were $35.25. That was, again, during the Poshmark new fee structure that they are no longer doing. But that was nice for a few things during this month. I paid just $1.29 at my local Goodwill. It took just one day to sell, and my profit was $33.96. So That one I was really excited about, and I just love that dress. My fourth highest selling item in October was another liquidation item. This was the new with tags $325 Michael Kors black faux fur vest. And this one I put a video clip in also because I wanted to kind of show the faux fur. It was really plush. It was so nice and soft and beautiful. And I got a lot of really lowball offers. Even though Michael Kors doesn't sell for an astronomical amount for me anymore, it used to sell really well. I thought, I know I can get more than like these $20 offers that are coming in. So I held out, and then finally October came around and I got a better offer, so I took it. It sold for $64.84. My earnings were $41.28. I purchased it from Fox Liquidation, and this one came in a box. They are doing something where you can bid on auctions now on certain days of the week. So I've purchased a few small boxes. They're free shipping. And what I did on this one was I just did an average cost of goods for everything in that box. Average cost of goods in this box was $11.11. It took 5 months and 8 days to sell, and my profit was $30.17. The next one was on eBay, and this one was beaded. I found this time of year things that are beaded, or if you can market them holiday, party, different things like that, they seem to sell well. This was the vintage Stenay blue beaded silk dress, size 16. I also put evening, mother of the bride, and sequin. Often the keywords that I put in, I don't just usually think of them on my own or know them. I'll look up sold comps, I'll sort from highest to lowest, and then I'll see the items that are like mine that sell the highest, what wording did they use in their title? And I'll use ideas from those top few items to structure my title. I'm going to show you how I found those keywords for this dress. I searched Stenay beaded dress. I saw that there were 941 available and only 95 had sold. So that's only a 10% sell-through rate. Now, if I specify it and put in size 16, that changes things. Now there are 30 available and 13 have sold. So that is closer to a 50% sell-through rate. Now on a very common everyday item that is current, I would not pick it up at that sell-through rate. But this is vintage. There is a limited number of these out there. And being this style, I am still going to pick up items like this at a 50% sell-through rate. And also the holidays are coming, so that sell-through rate will improve over the next month or two. But for this purpose, for keywords, we're going to keep all the sizes in, and we're going to see what actually sold and for the highest amount, because I want to look at those keywords. So I read the title structure, look at the dresses, and I pull some of those common words out from some of the highest selling dresses. It sold for $57.78. My earnings were $38.95. I paid just $8.99 at my local Goodwill. It took 7 months and 20 days to sell, and my profit was $29.96. Just a quick reminder, if you're new and not subscribed, I'd love to have you back. Just hit the subscribe button down below, and if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I release new videos. The sixth highest item of the month sold on Poshmark. This was Lulu's backless lace dress, size medium, romance language, I think that was the name of the dress, navy blue, short mini. There were quite a few of these listed. I got it on a $1.29 day at Goodwill, and so I thought, I know I can make a profit. But when I went home and looked it up, I noticed there were quite a few of this exact dress in size medium. So what I did when I listed it is I just put a competitive price. I looked at what the lowest listing was for, and I probably priced it at that same price as the lowest listing or somewhere really close to that, and it sold for $34. My earnings were $29.46. I paid just $1.29 at my local Goodwill. It took 2 months to sell, and my profit was $28.17. The next one was so pretty. One of my favorite things to sell is vintage prom dresses, and I saw this one and loved it. It was on a $1.29 day, so I was so excited. I'd never heard of the brand. The brand was Cinderella. I titled the listing Cinderella Dress Size 4. I put mini dress, formal, coral, short, strapless, prom, homecoming. It sold for $50.08. My earnings were $28.23. I paid just $1.29 at my local Goodwill. On Mondays, whatever the oldest color tag is, they reduced to just $1.29, so it's great. It took 3 days to sell, and my profit was $26.94. The 8th highest sell of the month was a new with tags, $168, and I put WHBM for White House Black Market, gold sequin pencil skirt, size 12, then I put White House Black Market and party. I really like to have sequin items for this time of year because I know they sell really well right now. It sold on Poshmark for $35. My earnings were $30.38. I paid just $5.99 at my local Goodwill. It took 2 months and 26 days to sell, and my profit was $24.39. The next item sold on Poshmark, and it was a men's blazer. Blazers seem to do very well, yield a high profit, so I try to remind myself to always go look at them when I'm in Goodwill. This one even had a flaw. I got home and I noticed that there was a little hole, but it was under the lapel, so you couldn't really see it when it was warm. So I just put that in the listing, but I did take a little while to list it because it had that hole. I put it away and I didn't list it for quite a while. But then when I took it out and listed it, it only took 8 days to sell, and it was my 9th highest sell of the month. This was the Daniel Cremieux Moon England hunting tweed jacket, extra large, lamb's wool coat blazer. It sold for $30 on Poshmark. My earnings were $25.85. I paid just $2 at the Goodwill bins in Oklahoma City. It took 8 days to sell after I finally listed it, and my profit was $23.85. And I had on their hunting jacket, and that reminds me, this time of year, hunting items go really well also. So be sure and be on the lookout for any type of hunting clothing or gear. My 10th highest item of the month came from a haul that I shared, which was so good. These items sold really well. I made a great profit on that haul. This one sold on Poshmark. This was the vintage Lawrence Kaiser New York evening party top. 100% silk, black sequins beaded. There's another beaded sequin item, so be sure you're on the lookout for those type of items for this time of year. It sold for $32. My earnings were $27.60. I paid just $6.09 at my local Goodwill. It took 4 months and 29 days to sell, and my profit was $21.53. So when I look at the items, I noticed dresses. I also noticed a lot of beaded and sequin items that seem that they are for parties or events. That just helps me to look at what sold for the highest amount. I also noticed that 7 of them just came from my regular Goodwill. 2 of them came from liquidation, and 1 of them came from the Goodwill bins. Now, I did have a ton of things sell from the Goodwill bins, so I'm going to have 2 more videos coming up when I get back. We're going on another trip, and I'm going to update on my recent bins hauls and share some of those items that have sold. So I have more to come. To go over my numbers, in the month of October, I sold a total of 84 items for a gross amount of $2,168.11. My earnings, or the amount that was deposited back in the bank after any fees and postage, was $1,381.37. My total cost of goods was $281.19. and my total profit was $1,100.18. On eBay, I sold 46 of those items for a gross amount of $1,272.83. My earnings, or the money back in the bank, was $645.60. My cost of goods was $116.05. And my profit was $529.55. On Poshmark, I sold 35 items for a gross amount of $822. My earnings were $691.77. My cost of goods was $163. Profit on Poshmark was $528.77. So my profit difference between eBay and Poshmark was only 78 cents. So they are just so neck and neck. Then on Mercari, I sold 3 items for a gross amount of $73.28 if you take and you add in. So I looked at it and saw what the buyer actually paid was $73.28. The earnings, what I received in my bank, was $44, cost of goods $2.14. These were all bins items, and my profit was $41.86. That is everything that I have for you today. If you enjoy these what sold videos and wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it so much. And if you're new and not subscribed, I would love to have you back. Just hit the subscribe button down below, and if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I release new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and everybody have a great day. Bye.